This is what's pulling people back. It's your humanity and how you're behaving and how that shows up in the actions and leadership of the organization.
Welcome to Experience Points, presented by our friends at Avtex, who transform customer experience through CX design and orchestration. On Experience Points, contestants earn points by answering customer experience questions and share their insights on how to make your interactions remarkable. Those points turn into dollars for the charity of their choosing. I'm Joey Coleman.
And I'm Dan Gingiss, and we'd love to introduce you to today's contestant.
She is known as the godmother of customer experience, and she is the inaugural chief customer officer of 4 different companies that you've heard of: Land's End, Coldwell Banker, Allstate, and Microsoft Corporation. Also a multi-time best-selling author. Jeanne Bliss, we are so excited to have you on Experience Points. Welcome.
Thank you, Dan, my friend. Good to be here with you.
Oh, we are so excited. You know, Jeanne, you've had an absolutely fascinating background and career. Is there something that you'd be willing to share with our watchers and our listeners that's maybe something that the average person or most people don't know about you? Maybe an interesting aspect of the Jeanne experience, so to speak.
Well, gosh, that's a good question. What's interesting is I've been doing this my whole career. I started at Land's End when I was 23 and a half years old. I answered an ad in the Chicago Tribune to go train 2,000 phone operators. And what happened was, because I was training those phone operators, I was so close to the company and what was happening. Land's End was about $100 million in sales. I started peppering Gary Comer, the founder. We need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do this. And so after doing that job for about 2 years, he took me off the phones and said, okay, smarty pants, you now report to the executive committee. You are the conscience of the company. As we grow, we were growing 40-50% a year. In fact, we got to $1 billion in 10 years. And that's why I have the career that I do. If it hadn't been for that experience, I wouldn't have it. And in fact, a 26-year-old version of me presented to the financial community when we went public. And instead of doing a journey map on a PowerPoint slide, I had Velcroed stages of the customer journey on this huge wall in the 400,000 square foot Land's End warehouse, and ran up and down the wall on, when this happens, the lifetime value grows to this, and these people are like, what in the hell is happening? But that's how we connected Land's End customer experience to growth and profitability, and we had a really amazing strike price when we went public. So it's just kind of my humble beginnings and why I have the work and the ability to do the work that I do.
Oh, Jeanne, I absolutely love it. Let's be candid. While you certainly are humble, those beginnings and that experience is anything but. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. The conscience of the company. Boy, I wish there were more companies that had a conscience in today's society.
Yeah, I agree, Joey. It's so good to be with you guys and to be able to talk about this. And I think especially now in the world we're living in, this is what's pulling people back. It's your humanity and how you're behaving and how that shows up in the actions and leadership of the organization.
Now, Jeanne, you're going to be playing for a very special charity today. Can you tell us which charity you chose and what does it mean to you?
I'm playing for the Alzheimer's Association, which has impacted almost anybody you know in their life, not only the people who have been afflicted by Alzheimer's, but the caregivers. And that's why I'm playing.
Love it. Love it. Such a great organization. Let's definitely help you win a great donation to them. Jeanne, today we're going to be playing Think Fast.
In Think Fast, you will have 1 minute to answer 5 experience questions. For each question, you must quickly choose between 2 possible answers. Correct answers given before time runs out are worth 100 points. 5 correct answers will earn you 500 bonus points for a possible score of 1,000 points.
Jeanne, are you ready to get started?
I'm ready!
All right, this is the fastest minute on the internet. I can't wait to play this with you, Jeanne. So we are going to be talking about a study today that coincidentally was authored by the godfather of customer service himself, Shep Hyken. So we have the godfather of customer service and the godmother of customer experience all in one show. This is amazing. And his study was called the 2020 Achieving Customer Amazement Survey, a special report on customer preferences, habits, and wants to help you create an amazing customer experience. Are you ready to play?
I'm ready.
What percentage of customers are willing to shift brands because of a bad experience? Is it 60% or 96%?
96.
As a customer's wealth increases, are they more or less likely to be willing to switch brands?
More.
Did the majority of people think customer experience had improved or not improved over the past year?
Not improved.
Do more customers want to resolve their customer service issues via phone or self-service?
Self-service.
And are more customers interested in customer service or convenience?
Oh, because it's Shep, I'm going to say convenience.
All right, know your audience. Love it.
Oh, goodness. I love two things about that, Jeanne. Number one, that may have been the fastest version of Think Fast we've ever had. You had a lot of time left on the clock. I love the speed of your answers. But the thing I love the best is you decided to play the player, not play the game on that last question. Let's see how that turned out for you.
Well, Jeanne, we asked you what percentage of customers are willing to shift brands because of a bad experience. You said 96%, and the answer is 96%. Nice job. 1 for 1. Then we asked you, as a customer's wealth increases, are they more or less likely to be willing to switch brands? You said more. The answer is more. All right. 2 for 2. We are rocking and rolling. Woo! Let's go to the next question. Did the majority of people think customer experience had improved or not improved over the past year? You said not improved. The answer is not improved. All right. 3 perfect scores so far. I hope we continue the streak. Do more customers want to resolve customer service via phone or self-service? You said, I believe, self-service. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the answer is...
Oh,
no, I don't know why people like the phone so much. So frustrating. I would have said self-service too, so I'm with you there.
what the thing I always say is people want self-service until they don't.
So true.
Until it's
So
hard.
true.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, and then we asked, are customers more interested in customer service or convenience? You played the player, and because you knew it was by Shep Hyken, you said convenience. The answer was convenience. Very good.
I know that, Shep.
Let's jump in and talk about that issue of convenience. A former guest on Experience Points, Shep Hyken, and his research point to convenience becoming the controlling desire for experiences. I don't want to, make you challenge Shep necessarily, Jeanne, but do you agree with that or disagree? Do you think convenience is becoming kind of the go-to answer when it comes to customer experience?
Well, he uses the word convenience. I use the word respect. What I mean by respect is it right for me? Are you respecting my time, where I want something? Are you building your company based on customer time or company time? So convenience and respect to me are correlated. So I understand why he's getting to convenience.
Yeah, it's interesting that you compare those, because I usually use the word simplicity, and I quote my idol former Cubs manager Joe Madden, who says doing simple better, do simple better is his instruction in baseball, and I think it so much applies to business as well. And when things are simple, then they are also convenient, and therefore the customer's time is respected. So I think it's all connected. I was particularly interested in the question that we both missed, which was this phone versus self-service. And the only thing I can come up with, because honestly, I mean, I do not know very many people that want to be on the phone anymore, but there is.
I like the phone better. I'm a caller. I'm a phone girl
too.
I'm a phone girl. I actually should have gone with my gut, and instead I was trying to kind of think about what the answer might have been. But here's what's happening is, as technology is swinging so far, the pendulum, companies need to have a blend of high tech and high touch, and sometimes it's the accidentally quest to make everything automated that we yearn for a human voice. We really yearn. And the other thing is that joke I made before, which is people want self-service until they don't. And once they get a human on the phone, that's why actually when call centers say they're worried about their purpose in the world, their purpose is growing. Because when you get to a human now, that human better be the right human. They better have light behind their eyes, as we said at Land's End. That's what we hired for. And they better be able to make the call.
Jeanne, I love it. You know, you are such a pro when it comes to a turn of a phrase. You know, in all the games we have played together, there have been, dozens of little phrase nuggets that you have dropped on our viewers and on our listeners. And it's so fantastic. The light behind their eyes. Could you speak a little bit to how one goes about hiring customer experience team members, whether that's a call center rep or someone on the marketing team or whoever it may be that's going to be delivering customer experience throughout the entire customer journey? How do you think we can find enough people with the light behind their eyes? Or do corporations have a responsibility also to bring some light to the conversation with how they treat their employees?
I couldn't agree more. You know, what's interesting and fascinating to me is the best companies do their version of a customer a humanity tryout. For example, the CEO of International House of Pancakes takes her, or when she was in the role, took her executives to the Pancake House for breakfast. You know why? She wanted to see the answer?
Well, I'm guessing she wanted to see how they interacted with the staff.
With the wait people. She wanted to see how they treat the wait people. When you go, Tony Shade's a good friend of mine at Zappos. I'm sure you guys know him too. When you go to Zappos, you get in that van, and that woman or man in the sneakers and sweats driving the van is actually part of the interviewing loop. They check to see, do you sit in the front of the van or the back of the van? Are you acting as the hoity-toity passenger, or are you engaging? Southwest, my good friends there, they've done a customer service tryout for many, many years. Headsets.com is a perfect example. They put you on a customer service kind of process where you go through an incubation period. They watch and they listen, and they don't listen for just how you did it, but what you did, but how you did it. And so I think what's important is, again, I beat the drum of deliberateness, but the best companies are really clear about the values, and then they get really serious about they're going to hire for those values. And again, that Land's End story that keeps on giving, the people that were on the phone at Land's End got up at 4 a.m. and hayed the fields and plucked eggs from the underbelly of warm hens before coming to answer the phone. And that's why, yes, we trained them. There was so much information, but then we said, be yourself. Be a human. There is no talk time. Be a good person. Make the call. And that takes trust and bravery by leaders. So it's this kind of complete approach that you've got to take, and we inadvertently break it into little snippets. Talk time, hire the right people, do an NPS survey at the end of it. And that is not, don't get me started. Don't get me snorting. That is not how you become an elevated company, So that's kind of, I think when you have good humans with the light behind their eyes, people will want to talk to you. We had people from New York calling us in the middle of the night just to talk to our people because they were from New York in the middle of the night.
Love it.
Especially now, nothing replaces human interaction. It's something that we all crave and value. And I think the companies that are finding a way through tech, even despite all the technology enhancements and self-service, they're finding a way to create a human connection are the ones that are winning over and keeping customers.
In the mom book, one of the things I say is, yes, if you're lucky, there's an app and your refrigerator repairman or your cable guy, you can track when he or she will get there. But it's if they put booties on their feet and how they welcome you and how they navigate your furniture that tell you the kind of mom they've got. So high tech without the humanity to blend it is just high tech everybody else can have.
Oh, so true, Jeanne, so true. Well, Dan, let's recap how Jeanne scored playing Think Fast.
Well, Jeanne, in this game, correct answers are worth 100 points, and you answered 4 questions correctly, which means you earned 400 points. Now, these points convert into dollars, which means that you earned a $400 donation to the Alzheimer's Association. Congratulations.
Yay, thank you.
Woohoo! That concludes this episode of Experience Points. Check out more games with Jeanne and our other celebrity contestants at experiencepointsgame.com. That's experiencepointsgame.com. We'll see you soon for more examples of remarkable customer experiences here at Experience Points, presented by Avtex.
I think we've fooled ourselves. I think we've kind of lulled ourselves into a conventional wisdom or a conventional belief that says people always want to self-serve. And I would argue you have to, ask the question, well, why? And I would submit that the reason for why is because the high touch experience was so poor. So if I'm going to have a poor experience, I might as well go do it myself. And I would think if the high touch experience was good, you would see a balancing out of that. So I would encourage our listeners, our viewers, to really think hard about, racing to 100%, self-service and investing all that money, when in actuality, you should really find out, do your customers really want to self-serve, or have you forced them into that either because you're refusing to serve them, others you're directing in that direction, or because the experience was so poor so they would prefer to self-serve.
So it's fascinating. I've been talking about self-service for well over a decade and was, with a number of companies in customer service with the rise of that thinking. And there was a lot of conversation with our clients around, cost savings and better experiences because that's what they want, etc. But I think you just hit on such a fascinating point, is that there's this concept of when I have to call somebody, oh God, I don't know where my account number is. I've got to bring pieces of paper. I got to go to my drawer, and I've got a pen. They're going to ask me to write down a confirmation number. I've never used a confirmation number that I've ever written down, but they're written down just in case. And so it's this a little bit of panic inducement when you have to think about calling in that, I'm just going to go online. I'm just going to get it myself. I'm just going to take care of it. Even if it's not a satisfying experience, even if it's not fulfilling, it'll get the job done. And I think that it's that and strategy of thinking about coming together, about how these different channels and these different engagement points play a role at each different part in the journey, and what transactions with the business and what engagements with the business are best suited for those channels is really important.